Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today is May 6th. We have our April Players of the Month. Luis Arraez has been traded and the twin streak has ended. Let's talk about it. Hello, everybody. My name is Steven. This is the middle of the order. How are we doing today here on a Monday? I hope you all had a very enjoyable weekend. I am feeling much better. Still not 100, but we are doing better than we were last week, and that is the positive. And speaking of positives, there's so much to take away from this weekend. A lot of things happening. A lot of teams, a lot of streaky teams right now. Some 3-game, 4-game winning streaks, some 3-4-game losing streaks. But yeah, I'm very excited for today's episode here. Another huge list of outstanding performances that I have to start finding ways to shrink down and choosing the best of the best there. And April, Player of the Month. That's the big one. That's where we're starting as usual. If you weren't here last year on the, these days where I do the Player of the Month, I try to start off with that before jumping into our series recap. But of course, all of this, if you're on YouTube, as in the timestamps, you can just jump to whatever you want to listen. Yada, yada, yada. I don't need to explain that stuff to you. What I do need to explain to you guys is the Players of the Month. And we're going to start in the AL as usual here. Of course, if you are new, the way I do these is AL first, then NL. These are my picks. And then we go look at MLB, what they said. So yeah, I'm excited. Let's get things going here with AL Players of the Month for April. Of course, if there's guys here that you think deserved it or should have been on it, I'm sure they did. I've just happened to go with my picks. So yeah, let's get things started with the catcher. And of course, there's really only one. The resurgence of Salvador Perez this year, or at least for this month, has been great. He's got a 368 average, 6 home runs, 22 RBIs, a 1.040 OPS. He's looked great. Big reason why Kansas City is where they're at. He is your catcher. For first baseman, how about the Canadian Josh Naylor from your Guardians? He's been killing it. Maybe one of the best players overall this year so far. Definitely in the top 10. A 264 average, 7 home runs, 23 RBIs, and 892 OPS. He's looked great for Cleveland. And it's why they've been able to hold off the Twins with their incredible win streak. The Guardians have been flying away in first place in that AL Central. For second baseman, Jose Altuve. The Astros haven't looked great in April, but at least Altuve and some other players have. A 347 average, 6 home runs, 8 RBIs, a 1.015 OPS. He's been really strong. Obviously, 8 RBIs and 6 home runs isn't ideal. That means he's only driven in 2 other runs, but still, he's a top-tier second baseman in the game. He's been like that for the last decade, and he's still producing at this level, so good for Altuve. For third base, a little bit of a closer one here. I was looking at Westberg from your Baltimore Orioles, but I did go the opposite way in the division. I went with Isaac Paredes from your Tampa Bay Rays. 316 average, 6 home runs, 16 RBIs, 920 OPS. He's been great for Tampa. Obviously, Tampa haven't been kind of the problems that they've been in the past earlier on. Last year, of course, starting off the year 13-0. But Paredes has still been a big part of that Tampa Bay team since they traded for him, I think 2 years ago now. And he's been a great third baseman, and obviously other third basemen in the league haven't been playing up to par. Guys like Alex Bregman, Jose Ramirez has been great, but he still has another gear we've seen Ramirez get to. So for me, Isaac Paredes is the choice. At shortstop, there's only one guy really who makes sense, and that is Gunnar Henderson from Baltimore. 280 average, 10 home runs, 24 RBIs, a 980 OPS. Gunnar Henderson has been incredible. Baltimore as a whole has been incredible, but Gunnar really has been on a tear since the start of the season, and he's hoping to continue to bring that. The Rookie of the Year winner last year, absolutely fire start for him. Our 3 outfielder spots. Kyle Tucker takes the first spot, another Astro on the list, despite their struggles, a 301 average, 7 home runs, 19 RBIs, a 1.011 OPS. I have always been very high on Kyle Tucker. He's always someone I like to target in my fantasy drafts. He is a great ball player. He hits the ball hard. He knows how to play the game. His base running skills are good. Kyle Tucker is an overall great player, and obviously with Altuve and Yordan there, he can kind of get overlooked sometimes, but Kyle Tucker really has been a phenomenal player since kind of making it his way to his own last year, 2 years ago even. And he's off to another hot start here in 2024. And also off to a hot start is Juan Soto from the Yankees. His first year with the Yankees, his first month has gone exactly the way New York has wanted. A 290 average, 7 home runs, 21 RBIs, a 961 OPS. The Yankees have looked great, and a big reason why is because Juan Soto is in that lineup. I don't know if the Yankees don't trade for Soto, where the Yankees would be at right now. Definitely not there. Juan Soto has been absolutely amazing. MLB does their players of the game things that fans can vote on. Soto leads that with 4 throughout the month. He's been a difference maker in a lot of Yankees games already, and he is getting that honors there. Riley Green, your last outfielder. Some of you may be unhappy that Mike Trout's not here. Mike Trout had a phenomenal April, but give credit to where credit's due. Riley Green has been great as well. 280 average, 6 home runs, 14 RBIs, a 962 OPS. Helping out the Tigers, trying to stay in the mix right now. And I like Riley Green a lot. Good bat, good center fielder out there. So Riley Green will take those honors there. But special shout out to Mike Trout because he has been great. Obviously, we won't be playing in May, but hopefully he's back and healthy real soon. For the starting pitcher for me for the month of April, I've gone with Jose Barrios from your Toronto Blue Jays. A 4-2 record, a 1.44 ERA, and 31 strikeouts. Obviously on the lower side of the strikeout end, but Barrios has looked phenomenal to start the year off. His stuff has been nasty. He's been dealing. Those 2 losses are close, 1-run games, one of them being the rainout game as well. So there's been some unlucky stuff there, but overall, Barrios has looked phenomenal entering 2024. The rookie of the month for AL, that's going to be Colton Cowser from Baltimore. He's been hot and electric, and that's why Baltimore is so hot and electric. A 297 average, 6 home runs, 18 RBIs, and a 991 OPS. I feel like a Baltimore player is going to have the rookie of the month every month. Just who's it going to be? Is it going to be Colton Cowser? Is it going to be, Jackson Holiday when he comes back up? Who knows? Baltimore's got a rookie farm prospect talent show. It's just phenomenal. And lastly here, the special/DH spot, kind of just an extra player to throw out there, special mentions. Ryan Jeffers. Salvador Perez has looked great as a catcher, but Ryan Jeffers for the Twins has been great as well. A 338 average, 5 home runs, 17 RBIs, and a 1.047 OPS. It's very rare you see 2 catchers have 1 dotters to start the month of April, but we have it here with Perez and Jeffers. Ryan Jeffers has been great for the Twins, obviously helping them in their win streak woes. The Summer Sausage and Ryan Jeffers carrying that Twins team right now, but it is all the Twins, and that is your AL Players of the Month. A little wild there. Let's jump in now into our NL side of things here and get things started, of course, with catcher, and that is going to be William Contreras from your Brewers. I'll tell you right now, when this trade happened with Murphy and Contreras going to from the Braves to the Brewers and Braves getting Sean Murphy from Oakland, William Contreras was kind of like this, just here you go, like, Adam, we'll have to add you to the mix just that way we can get, because Oakland doesn't want William, whatever the case was. The Brewers are so happy they were part of that trade because William Contreras has done nothing but rake since joining their team, and he might be one of the best hitting catchers in the game right now. A 350 average, 5 home runs, 21 RBIs, and 977 OPS. I was very low on the Brewers heading into this season, and that was because of their offense. And there are guys like Contreras who's been carrying that offense, and the Brewers have looked great because of it. And Yeah, they've shut me up so far to start the year, but William Contreras, he is your catcher for the NL. He's been great. First baseman, a little tricky. You've got plenty of options. Bryce Harper, Freddie Freeman, all great options, great numbers on the year so far. Nothing too wow. But I've gone with Christian Walker from your D-backs, a 278 average, 5 home runs, 17 RBIs, and an 844 OPS. We know Christian Walker is a very streaky hitter. I feel like last year, end of September, heading into the playoffs, he was playing really well. Then during that D-backs playoff run where all this magic was happening, all these players playing great, Christian Walker was struggling heavily batting fourth. He had like 1 home run the whole postseason. He wasn't that great. So there was question marks around him entering this year, but he's been back to form a little bit. 5 home runs, a 278 average. He's been doing really well for the D-backs. They haven't really hit their stride yet, but I feel like that time is going to come. We saw that last year with them, and I think this year as well will have the same thing, but he is going to need to be right, hitting home run and playing a Gold Glove defense at first base. Staying with the D-backs here for second base, Ketel Marte has also looked great. A 299 average, of 5 home runs, 14 RBIs, and that 880 OPS. That D-backs team can be scary when they're hot. We've seen the D-backs this month, been shut out, but then the next day they put up 17 runs. When that offense clicks, they will score 9-10 runs in an inning. We've seen that a few times already this year, so don't be surprised to see D-backs on these lists more and more as the months go on. And if it's not these two, it could be Gabby Moreno, it could be Lourdes Gurriel Jr., who, if he was a little bit, staying stronger to his, first 2 weeks, could have also been on this list, but that's a spoiler right there. Ketel's been great, so chuck him in there. Third baseman. This was kind of a surprise to me because I knew Alec Bohm had been playing well, but I didn't realize he'd be playing this well. A 370 average for Bohm, 4 home runs, 28 RBIs, a 1.078 OPS. The Phillies have been phenomenal this year. They're now in first place. A little spoiler for the standings check. And Bohm's been a big reason why, I guess. I knew he's been playing great. I've seen the stats, his game-to-game logs and everything. But when I was actually going through the numbers and, looking for third baseman, I was surprised how easy it was because Bohm has cleared everybody. And it's not like third base isn't a stacked position. You can go team to team and pick a really good third baseman. Even the Rockies have Ryan McMahon as their third baseman, and McMahon's probably one of the best Rockies right now. Riley's at third for the Braves. They're star third baseman all over, and Alec Bohm right now is just playing out of his mind. So good for Bohm, good for the Phillies. You need that to continue all year round if you want to beat teams like the Braves and Dodgers. And speaking of those Dodgers, Mookie Betts has always been an elite player and always ends up on Player of the Month. But how about as a shortstop? I said it at the beginning of the season. I don't know how this move is going to work. Him at second, now short. He's played outfield his whole career. How is he going to do it? He's done it. And he's looked good. A 368 average, 6 home runs, 23 RBIs, and a 1.101 OPS. He's probably been the best player of the year so far. There's days where he leads the league in every stat category imaginable. He's been phenomenal on the field. The defense has been shaky at times, but hitting-wise, he's still the same Mookie Betts he's always been year in and year out. Is he going to start hitting more home runs? Last year, he was 1 away from his first ever 40 home run season. You would love to see him get that this year. Dodgers are great, and Mookie's great. There's nothing more really left to say about that. Moving on to outfield now. This one was actually pretty tricky because these are names that, aren't usually on par. Marcell Ozuna from your Braves. It's good to see him get some recognition on MLB's social media pages. Marcell Ozuna from the Braves, 355 average, 8 home runs, 28 RBIs, and a 1.111 OPS. He has the best OPS in the league right now, and he's been killing it. Ozuna's been strong for the Braves. The Braves have been good, but I feel like there is that next level for them still. Same can be said with the Dodgers and a few other teams, but Ozuna's been carrying the weight for now. So you're waiting for guys like Acuna and Riley to really kick off, get hot. Matt Olson needs to get hot. But Ozuna's been great. He leads the way there. Then, hey, Will Smith, you're not the catcher of the month, but you know who is Mr. Irrelevant. Jurickson Profar has actually been very productive for the Padres this year. A 322 average, 4 home runs, 17 RBIs, and a 937 OPS. Jurickson Profar doesn't put up these numbers usually, so it's very positive to see these kinds of numbers for him, to see him happy and playing well on the field. You're hoping that he can have 2 more months of this and potentially make his first All-Star appearance, because that would be amazing for Jurickson Profar. I'm sure Padres fans would love that for him as well. And our last outfielder here from your Cubs, Mike Tauchman, has had a great start to the season. A 315 average, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs, and a 959 OPS. I mean, hey, these outfielders of Profar, Ozuna, and Tauchman aren't your typical elite outfielders, so this is really cool to see from these guys out overperforming for the month of April. They've been electric, they've been stunning, so hopefully all of them can keep it up as we enter into the month of May. Starting pitcher for the NL is going to be Ranger Suarez. Take your Phillies pitcher pick, because all of them have been phenomenal. But Ranger Suarez, just a little bit extra of amazing. 5-0, a 1.32 ERA, and 40 strikeouts. He has been absolutely astounding to watch pitch. He's on it right now, and hopefully he's one of these guys who does not get hurt, because the Phillies need him right now. I mean, when you think of that ace, the rotation with Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola, like, Suarez is the 3 guy. He's always the 3 guy. But, I mean, he is pitching like he is the ace of that staff. And I'll tell you right now, I don't even need to think about any other team's pitching staff. Ranger Suarez is the best number 3 in baseball. Behind Wheeler and Nola, he is right there to cause problems. Any playoff series, Suarez, as the Game 3 starter, wins that game for Philly. And that's just a strong feeling, because to be that, like it's so incredible right now. Ranger Suarez has been killing it. For me, the rookie of the month is going to be from the Cubs. It's going to be Michael Busch. I usually try to keep the rookie spots for players in the NL and the AL. When I do my picks, I like to do hitters for the rookies. Obviously, Shota has been astounding for the Cubs, and he will get his love in due moments away. But for me, Michael Busch has also been great for the Cubs. A 282 average, 6 home runs, 17 RBIs, and an 874 OPS. He broke the Cubs record for most consecutive games with a home run. He was on an absolute tear earlier in the year. He deserves the love right now, so congrats, Michael Busch, for that. Your special / DH, I got 2 of them. I couldn't decide, because Mookie Betts is the new shortstop, and now he's going to get all the love there. But there are other shortstops who deserve just as much love. Ellie De La Cruz from your Reds, a 280 average, 8 home runs, 19 RBIs, and a 982 OPS. And he's not alone, because I got to bring my boy CJ Abrams into the mix of things as well, show him some love. A 305 average, 6 home runs, 16 RBIs, and a 982 OPS. Both of those guys have been amazing for their respective teams, the Reds and the Nationals. The Nats have been playing up to par, the Reds playing kind of at their par, but these 2 guys have been great. I would love to see both of them continue to have hot years, especially CJ. The Nats after many years have been kind of struggling close to the bottom here, but this is going to be a different year. I can feel it for the Nats. They just seem different, and the Reds, obviously after last year, same thing goes for them. These 2 shortstops are electric. All right, now we're going to try to sprint through the MLB picks here really quickly, because we're getting a little bit later into things than I maybe had hoped. But we are going to shine some light on what MLB considered to be their players of the month, starting with, of course, their actual players and picks. So for the AL player of the month, according to MLB, it was Gunnar Henderson, that 980 OPS, the 10 home runs, the 24 RBIs. He's been fantastic. The NL Player of the Month is Mookie Betts. Of course, we don't need to mention anyone else. 1.101 OPS, a 368 average, 6 home runs, 8 stolen bases, 23 ribbies. Those guys have been leading the way. The pitchers for the AL and NL are the same as mine, Jose Barrios and Ranger Suarez. The 4-2 record, the 1.44 ERA, the 31 Ks for Barrios, the 5-0 record, the 1.32 ERA, and the 40 Ks for Suarez. The rookies of the month for AL, Colton Cowser, we've mentioned him, the 303 average, the 1.004 OPS, the 6 home runs. And then the rookie for the NL, I mentioned it with Michael Busch. I like doing hitters, but Shota Imanga has been electric, and he is the NL Rookie of the Year, Rookie of the Month. A 4-0 record, a 0.98 ERA, 28 strikeouts, and if he keeps pitching like that, he will be the Rookie of the Year come the end of the season. There's so many great rookies right now in the game, but Imanga has been off to an outstanding start for the Cubs. It seems like every time he's on the mound, he is absolutely shoving whoever he's ending up facing. He's been great and deserves all the love right now. And then for the relievers, for the AL, of course, is Mason Miller, who's been great for the Athletics. 12.1 innings pitched, a 1.35 ERA, 27 strikeouts, and 8 saves. He has more strikeouts. He has one less strikeout than Imanga at 28. He has 27. He's been dealing and has been the best reliever in baseball right now. The NL side has Ryan Helsley from your Cardinals, 13 innings pitched, a 1.69 ERA, 17 Ks, and 10 saves. Those guys are your relievers of the month. And the last thing to look at is the team of the month. MLB has done it a little bit differently this year. Instead of just doing the one-offs and calling it a day, they've added a full rotation, so 4 more starters. They've added 2 relief pitchers. I think they only had 1. Now they have another one. And they've also added a utility spot, so kind of like that extra DH role besides the DH, because they have a DH as well. Regardless, this is the team of April according to MLB. Catcher, Salvador Perez. First baseman, Josh Naylor. Second baseman, Jose Altuve. The shortstop, Mookie Betts. Third baseman, Alec Boehm. Left fielder, Juan Soto. Center fielder, Mike Trout. Right fielder, Kyle Tucker. The DH, Shohei Ohtani. The utility player, Ellie De La Cruz. Your starting pitcher rotation is Ranger Suarez, Ronald Blanco, Shota Imanga, Jose Barrios, and Tanner Hyuk, who's been great. And your relief pitchers, Mason Miller and Clay Holmes. That is all of your April Players of the Month, my picks, MLB picks, wrapped up very nicely into a little bow. A little bit longer. We'll try to shorten that up for May. With that all being said, let's dive into our series recap. Alright, now leading us off, we have the Mets and the Rays are debuting their City Connects, and they seem to be working nicely as they scored 9 unanswered runs in this game, 5 of those coming in the 3rd inning. Randy would also homer in the new uniforms because, of course, he would. The Mets made it slightly interesting late, but fall short. The Rays win it 10-8. Christian Scott makes his Major League debut, and it was great matching a pitcher's duel with Zach Lytle. The Rays take the lead in the 8th by getting 2 bases-loaded walks, and they come away with another game as they take it 3-1. Lindor starts the last game with a home run. We move along. The Mets have a 1-run lead entering the last inning. It's Randy Arozarena delivering with the game-tying home run, sending it to extras where Johnny DeLuca hits a 2 RBI walk-off triple to win it for the Rays, who get the 3-game sweep over the Mets. They take it 7-6. Tigers at Yankees. After a great start from Reese Olson, the Tigers looked to the bullpen to close out the 1-0 game, but the Yankees tie it on a double and then win it on a base hit from Anthony Rizzo. The Yankees come back in the 9th in this one, getting the last inning walk-off win to open the series 2-1. Aaron Judge gets ejected in this game for the first time in his career, but it didn't matter. Rizzo helped carry the team to the win, a big 3-run home run. The Yankees get another 5-3. And after his ejection yesterday, Judge would homer to start his last game. The big bases-clearing double in the 7th by Soto was the difference here. The Yankees pick up the sweep over Detroit. They win it 5-2. Red Sox and Twins. The sheriff is Chris Paddock, and he has a great start. That helps the Twins, who score 4 runs in the 7th for some insurance. They're now winners of 11 straight. They take it 5-2. Pablo Lopez with a great start. Max Kepler homers. The Twins win another one against the Red Sox. They make it now 12 straight games. They take it 3-1. And the Red Sox, they were going to end this streak. Both Cedane Rafaela and Rafael Devers homer in the game. The Red Sox add 4 runs in the 8th. The Twins' crazy run ends at 12. That helps them bring them back in the mix of the AL Central. The Red Sox do win. They avoid the sweep. They get the last game 9-2. Angels at Guardians now. The Angels use 3 pitchers to blank the Guardians as Nolan Schanuel homers for his 3rd of the year. The Angels get the opener 6-0. And it's a day of firsts here for Game 2. Austin Hedges and Ramon Laureano both hit their first home runs of the season. And Bo Naylor gets his first career big league grand slam as those 3 home runs help the Guardians even up the series. They take it 7-1. And it's a couple of 2-run home runs from the stars of the team, Jose Ramirez and Josh Naylor. That's all the Guardians need as pitchers do the rest for them. They win it and take 2 of 3 from the Halos 4-1. Rangers at Royals. Look at these Royals go. Hunter Renfroe and Salvi Perez homer. Brady Singer strikes out 8. The Royals get the first game versus the defending champs 7-1. And then the Rangers scored 15 runs, all without a home run. They put the cherry on top with 5 of those 15 coming in the 9th. They even up the series with the win 15-4. And in the final game, Jonah Heim, he hits a home run in the 9th to tie this game up. We went into extras where the Rangers score and then used David Robertson to close this one out. The Rangers, after losing the first one, takes 2 of 3. They win it in extras 3-2. Mariners and Astros now, and it's a couple of home runs from Jorge Polanco and Dylan Moore that had the Mariners up early, but a big 4-run 7th from the Astros gave them the lead. They end up with the win and the opener as they take it 5-3. But Game 2 was all about the Mariners and Logan Gilbert, who was brilliant for 8 innings with Luis Arraez and Cal Raleigh hitting home runs. That's the recipe for a Mariners win. They even the series 5-0. After being down 3-0, Kyle Tucker and John Singleton hit 2 home runs, a total of 4 runs, 2 2-run home runs. That takes the lead, but the Mariners tied it, and with Josh Hader looking to hold them in the 9th, it's the big dumper, Kyle Raleigh, who beats Hader, hits the go-ahead home run in the 9th. The Mariners steal the game. They end up taking 2 of 3 from the Astros on the road. They win it 5-4. Marlins and A's. Coming into this series is Oakland after sweeping the Pirates. J.P. Sears looked good, and with a Brent Rooker home run, Oakland was in the driver's seat. They win the first game 3-1. Game 2, and oh boy, Oakland, 6 home runs, 2 from Brent Rooker, 1 from Shea Langelares, and 1 from J.J. Bleday. And how about 2 from Brett Harris, who his first one, not only was his first MLB home run, it was his first ever MLB hit. So it was quite the game and quite the memory for Brett Harris. Oakland steamrolls the Marlins. They win their 6th straight game, 20-4. 20 runs for Oakland. Crazy. Looking for back-to-back sweeps is the A's, but they would not find it. Nick Gordon hits a 3-run home run. The Marlins score 3 or more runs in 3 different innings. They end up ending the A streak at 6 and avoid the sweep as they win it 12-3. Giants and Phillies now. It's a 3-run 3rd inning. That's all really Philly needed, as their pitching holds the Giants enough to ensure they don't get the lead. The Phillies take the opener, 4-3. Giants get 3 runs off of Ranger Suarez. Too bad the Phillies put up 14 runs on 12 hits, with the only home run being a Whit Merrifield solo shot for the 14th run of this game. Phillies take it 14-3. Then we have Bryce Harper hitting a big 3-run home run for Sunday Night Baseball to get the Phillies the lead. Giants would attempt a comeback. Theo Estrada and Jackson Reitz hitting home runs for the Giants, and for Reitz, it was his first career MLB home run, but unfortunately they come up short. Phillies take all 3 games during the weekend, and will look for the 4-game sweep over the Giants today, with the last game being on Monday. Now they take it 5-4. Blue Jays and Nationals. Yusei Kikuchi pitched great in the opener of the series, but the Blue Jays pen blows it for them as the Nats score 4 runs in the 7th and add 4 more in the 8th. The Nationals get the comeback win, and they finish those Jays off big time. They win it 9-3. Kevin Kiermaier gets his first home run of the year. The Jays get a 4-run first and hold off the Nats for the whole game. They even up the series with the win 6-3. And it's Alek Manoah who returns from the IL, hoping not to repeat his 2023 performance. He came in with his last rehab game being the best start he's had in a long time, with 12 strikeouts. But would it translate to MLB? Well, it started off well. Vlad hits a grand slam that gives the Jays an early lead. Manoah, through 2 1/3 innings pitched, had 6 Ks with 2 walks, but it was the 4th inning that caused him issues, as the Nationals would score 5 runs to take the lead, with Jesse Winker hitting a go-ahead 3-run home run. The Jays would tie it, but Eddie Rosario would put the finishing touch on this one, hitting a home run, the 2nd home run on the year. The Nats take 2 of 3 from the Jays and rough up Manoah as they do. His final line: 4 innings pitched, 6 hits, 6 earned runs, 4 walks, 6 Ks. Nats win it 11-8. Oilers and Reds now. Cole Irvin dominated versus the Reds as Ryan O'Hearn hits a 2-run home run for his 5th of the year. The Oilers take the first game versus the Reds 3-0. And if you thought Cole Irvin was great for the Oilers, he got an outstanding performance from the ace from a few years ago, John Means, who is healthy and back for his first outing of 2024. He looked great, and it's 2 solo shots from Jorge Mateo and Adley Rutschman. The O's take another one, 2-1. And for the final game, it's Jordan Westburg, it's Ryan McKenna, it's Anthony Santander, all of them homering. Anthony Santander's being a grand slam. It was all Baltimore in this series. They get the sweep over the Reds. They take the last game 11-1. Brewers and Cubs now down 1 late. The Brewers were able to score 3 runs in the 8th off of some singles. As they come back and take the lead, they hold the Cubs for 2 innings and win this game for the series battle for the NL Central. The Brewers take it 3-1. Nico Horner and Patrick Wisdom both hit their first home runs of 2024. Christopher Morel hits his 7th and 2nd of the series as he homered for the Cubs for the Cubs' lone run in the first game. The Cubs do hold on and even up the series 6-5. And it's all Cubs in the last one. Dansby Swanson hits his 4th home run of the year. The Cubs, 3 pitchers, they blank the Brewers, and the Cubs still second in the NL Central, but do get a game back on the Brewers by winning 2 of 3. They take the last game 5-0. Sonny Gray, it's the White Sox and the Cardinals, and it's Sonny Gray who continues to look great with another fantastic start. Nolan Arenado with a big night, going 2 for 4 with 2 doubles and 3 RBIs. The only 3 runs of this game. Cardinals win it 3-0. We had a really weird ending in this second game here. The Cardinals down 3 runs, scored 5 in the 5th with Nolan Arenado hitting a 3-run home run, his 2nd of the year. We'd end up tied and going into extras. The White Sox score in the 10th, and then in the bottom, with rain coming down harder and harder each inning, the Cardinals had the bases loaded with 2 outs down to the 1. They're still down the 1 run, and the umpire, C.B. Buckner, puts it in a rain delay that lasts 3 hours. And when we come back to the game, Ivan Herrera was called out on strikes on a pitch that was off the plate and never a strike. Classic C.B. Buckner, probably the worst umpire in baseball. Do not like him. The White Sox win it 6-5. Eloy Jimenez in the last game hits his 4th home run on the year to get the White Sox the lead. And that started a 4-run 7th inning, putting the White Sox up big. The White Sox end up the win. They take 2 of 3 from the Cardinals. They win it 5-1. Rockies and Pirates now. It's Cal Quantrill with the Rockies. An amazing start here in the opener. He was in complete control of all of his pitches. Ryan McMahon homers, and the Rockies end up taking the first game. They win it 3-2. This game, it was the Pirates starting pitcher Jared Jones who looked amazing as he'd been all year. 10 strikeouts and 1 hit. Despite that, it was 0-0 into the 9th, but luckily the Pirates wouldn't lose that game with an amazing start, as Jack Sawinski was the hero, getting the walk-off single. The Pirates even the series up, winning it in walk-off fashion 1-0. And for the final game, Jacob Stallings and Sean Bouchard hit home runs for the Rockies. They had the lead into the 6th, but it would be the Pirates star O'Neal Cruz who crushed the go-ahead 2-run home run, a lead the Pirates wouldn't give up as they take it and win 2 of 3 from the Rockies. They take the last game 5-3. Padres and D-backs now. The scoring in this series started with Tatis and Cronenworth hitting back-to-back home runs. Later on, it's Manny Machado. 3 Padre home runs elevate them past the D-backs. They get the game 1, 7-1. Game 2, it was even worse as Luis Arraez comes over from Miami to make his Padre debut, and quite the debut it was, being the first Padre to get 4 hits in his debut. He was 4 for 6, 2 runs and an RBI. Jurickson Profar and Hassan Kim both go deep. The Padres take another game. They win it 13-1. After the last game, it would go the D-backs' way as Ketel Marte and Jock Peterson go deep. The D-backs avoid the sweep to the Padres, but San Diego still takes 2 of 3. Arizona wins the last game though, 11-4. And last but not least, the Braves and the Dodgers, a potential NLCS matchup here between these two teams, full of stars and talent. Austin Riley goes deep to get the scoring started. Later on, it's Teoscar Hernandez going deep for the Dodgers. Ronald Acuna Jr. in the 8th hits a home run to tie the game up. We head to extras. Both of them score in the 10th. The Dodgers hold the Braves in the 11th, and it's Andy Pages who walks it off for the Dodgers with a base hit. The Dodgers take the first game of the series, beating them 4-3. The next game was ugly for the Braves as it started with a Max Muncy home run. It continued with a Shohei Ohtani home run, followed by an Andy Pages home run, followed by Muncy again. And Muncy for a 3rd time. The Dodgers hit 5 home runs, 3 of which coming from the bat of Max Muncy. All Dodgers in this one. They win it 11-2. And for the final game, Teoscar Hernandez hits his 2nd home run of the series. Shohei Ohtani hits 2 home runs in the game, a total of 3 in the series. It's his multi-home run game that seals the deal for the Dodgers. They get this sweep over the Braves, a big series from them. They take it 5-1. All right, now game of the weekend. We're going to Oakland because when Oakland puts up 20 runs, of course, that's the game of the weekend. It starts in the bottom of the 2nd. Daryl Hernice and Esteury Ruiz single in runs. That makes it 2-0 Oakland. Then in the 3rd, this is the big one. 10 runs. Brent Rooker, 2-run shot, his 7th of the year. JJ Bleday, a 3-run shot, his 4th of the year. Abraham Toro, a 2-run single. Brent Rooker, 2 home runs in the same inning, his 8th of the year, a 3-run shot. That makes it 12-0 Oakland. Then bottom 4th, here's where Brett Harris is introduced. His 1st home run of the year, his 1st home run of his big league career, and his 1st MLB hit. A solo shot makes it 13-0. Then top 6, it's the Marlins and Nick Fortes, who homers his 1st of the year. That makes it 13-1. Then in the bottom of the 6th, it's a 2-run shot. Brett Harris's 2nd home run of the game, his 2nd hit of his big league career. 15-1 Oakland. Bottom 7, JJ Bleday, he'll hit a double. That makes it 16-1. Top 8, a 2-run shot for Brian De La Cruz, his 6th of the year, makes it 16-3. Bottom 8, how about another couple of runs? Lawrence Butler, he'll single in 1 to make it 17. And then Shea Langeliers launches his 7th of the year, a 3-run shot to make it 20-3. Top 9, Vidal Brujan, doubles in a run, 20-4. That is your final. That is your game of the weekend. All right, we're going to try to speed through some of the news here, but we don't have a lot to talk about. We're starting with the Twins and their 12-game winning streak, and it's over. The last 2 weeks have been amazing for the Twins. Their last loss, besides yesterday, came 2 weeks ago on Sunday, April 21st against the Tigers. That day, they were held to only 1 run, and they were now at a 7-13 record. Keep that in mind. They were 4th in the AL Central at 7-13. A just tough go at things. Then they play the White Sox for 4. Then the Angels for 3, then the White Sox another 3, and then get 2 against Boston before losing the last one. So you can say, hey, White Sox and Angels, not the easiest or not the hardest of teams, but it was a big difference about the runs they were scoring. You look at the last couple of games when against Detroit and Baltimore before their winning streak, 1 run, 3 runs, 4 runs, 2 runs, 3 runs, like just nothing over 5 really. And then you get the White Sox, 7 runs, 6 runs, 6 runs, 6 runs, 5, 16, 11, 3, 6, like 10, 5. Like the offense turned it around. That summer sausage was a huge thing. And then yesterday's loss to Boston gave them their 14th loss on the year. But hey, instead of being 7-13, they're now 19-14. They've done an outstanding job of turning their season around. They're now 2nd in the AL Central and only 2.5 games back of the Guardians. They've passed the Royals. They've passed the Tigers. They've been absolutely outstanding. To end off this month of April, like they were hot at the right moments, I feel like, and that's what you got to do, though. You know, when you're talking about the White Sox and Angels aren't the easiest teams, you're right, but that doesn't mean that you can roll over. You know, the White Sox get wins, the Angels get wins, Rockies get wins. Like when you end up in series against those teams, you have to make sure you win, and that's what the Twins did. That's why they got this great win streak, and why they've set them up in such a nice position here to continue through the month of May now. They do play the Guardians the weekend of the 17th to the 19th. So that's a big series there, you know. Could the Twins already be in first by that point? They got to go through Seattle, Toronto, and the Yankees before getting to that Cleveland series. And, you know, with those 3 teams, a lot can change for Minnesota. But if their pitching keeps up and if their hitting is, you know, as strong as it's been, we got to see how the Twins will look in the next 2 weeks from here. But that 2-week difference is all it takes for Minnesota for a team to get hot. 12 wins. Just an outstanding job from Minnesota. And speaking of teams that were just getting hot and doing the right things here, can we talk about Oakland's 2-week period here? The same period that the Twins had, Oakland, you could justify, was also amazing. They lost to the Guardians on the 21st. And then from that point on, they had 4 series, Yankees, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and Miami. And it wasn't any crazy streak. You know, they got to 6. But hey, they took 2 of 4 from the Yankees. They split the series there. Then they beat Baltimore in a series, taking 2 of 3 from them. Then they sweep the Pirates in a 3-game set, and then win 2 against Miami before falling on Sunday to them. But still, to the AL East, these elite teams, Baltimore and New York. Like these two were battling for first. They're both juggernauts of baseball right now, and Oakland beat one of them in a series and split another one. They sweep the Pirates. I mean, Oakland's streak right now has been very impressive. They were, before yesterday's loss, a game and a half back of Texas and Seattle for the division. They're 8-2 in their last 10. They have looked incredible, and it's not just one guy. Go through the list here. Brett Harrison's being called up, has been great. Kyle McCannson's being called up, has been fantastic. Brent Rooker has turned it on now with 8 home runs, a 963 OPS. Esteury Ruiz is back, hitting absolute bullets around the field. Tyler Nevin's been good. JJ Bleday, Toro, Longoleris. It's the same team that they've had, but these guys are just producing now at a higher level. And the pitching hasn't been awful. We talked about kind of last year how, it was 47 days before an Oakland ace, an Oakland Athletics starter won a game. These guys are doing it. Mason Miller, the best closer right now, 8 saves in 12 games, 14 and a third innings pitched, 29 strikeouts, been amazing. Go through the list. Paul Blackburn, in his 7 starts, has a 3 ERA and a 3-1 record. J.P. Sears, in his 7 starts, a 3.89, a 2-2 record. Ross Stripling, he's got a 4.24, a 1-5 record, but they let him stay out there much longer than any other manager would. Wood and Boyle, but I mean, Blackburn and Sears have been 2 of their starters, the best 2 of their starters, and the bullpen's been great. Austin Adam in 10 innings, a 1.74 ERA. Lucas Erserg, a 1.93 ERA in 14 innings. Kyle Muller, 2.61 in 20 innings. Like, these guys have actually been extremely impressive for the month of April. They're 2.5 back of the division. Maybe we'll talk about a point right now where, hey, Oakland might have a division, just to hold the division for a day. They, right now, are going to go through the gauntlet. So this is a real test for Oakland, because over the next week and a half here, they have 4 games against the Rangers, followed by 3 games against the Mariners, and then 4 games against the Astros. So they're playing their division for the next week and a half, and if they do well against the Rangers and Mariners, we could legitimately be talking about a point in May here where Oakland will be leading the AL West. And that will be crazy to think about. Just the thought of it alone is giving me goosebumps. If Oakland at some point leads the division, watch out for Oakland, man. These games will be fun to watch. And the last big news to go over, the Miami Marlins have traded Luis Arraez to the San Diego Padres, as well as cash. The Marlins are getting Woo-Suk Go, who is a relief pitcher that the Padres acquired over the offseason. And then 3 prospects, Dylan Head, Jacob Marassi, and Nathan Martorella. Apologies if I butchered those names. The first time I saw about this trade, actually, it was the video popped up on my phone from MLB about them like playing their game. It was like a AAA game, AA game, wherever they are. And Nathan Martorella is at second base. The manager comes out, it's like, yeah, we're taking him out. And he is confused. He's like, why are you taking me out? Like, what did I do? Like, he is shocked. And then, he finds out that he's been traded. Jacob Marassi was on the bench. The 2 of them walked off the field during a pitching change to get on the plane to head to Miami, I guess, or to the Miami's team. So, really weird situation. It was a really interesting video, kind of, shows more of the human aspect and the business aspect of baseball. But the Padres are acquiring Luis Arraez, and that's a big thing for them. We saw it in his debut. The way he played, 4 for 6, a double, an RBI, 2 runs. He was great for them. The Marlins front office is already saying that we are unlikely to make playoffs this year. Is that the case? They're 10-26, 14.5 games back of first, and 8 games back of the wild card. Look, Miami's had a tough string of games. Obviously not winning until, April 7th against the Cardinals. Lose, get swept. They've had huge losing streaks, a lot of them. Just 2 weeks ago, they lost 3 to the Braves and then lost 4 to the Nationals before sweeping the Rockies, what might be their only sweep of the season. They just lost 2 of 3 to Oakland. They're playing the Dodgers now. It's a tough go for Miami, and the quote that just we are unlikely to make playoffs is enough to kind of get your, for Miami, it's just like, okay, damn, this sucks. And first is Luis Arraez. Who else is gone? I forget who, but somebody said Jazz was next, and that to me would be super interesting if Jazz goes. Jazz Chisholm, hitting .234 average, a 702 OPS, not great, and he's locked up until 2027. They said possible landing spots include the Reds, the Giants, the D-backs, the Jays, the Nats, and the Mariners. So I'm not sure, in terms of Luis Arraez, we know that the Padres are paying the bare minimum that they need to pay for his salary. The Marlins are paying the rest of it, so that's where the cash is obviously coming from there. And you have to kind of look at Miami's team, or at least as their payroll. to kind of determine what's going to happen, for the trade deadline as we get closer to that. Josh Bell's a free agent, Tim Anderson's a free agent, and Tanner Scott are the three free agents that Miami has at the end of this year on their roster right now. Josh Bell has been awful. He's batting .197 with a .604 OPS. He has 4 home runs and 13 RBIs. Tim Anderson has been worse in some senses, a .218 batting average, a .504 OPS. He has more hits than Bell. Well, not really, but he had less opportunities for those hits as well, 20 less at-bats. Tim Anderson, Josh Bell, can you guys kind of get going? Tanner Scott has, really struggled in comparison to last year. Like, there isn't a lot of pieces that Miami has right now to be doing stuff. Jake Berger, is he on the market? Avisel Garcia, they just traded for Nick Gordon. Is he gone? Like, it's really weird because Miami has a young team. So the pieces that they have to trade off aren't pieces that they can just kind of, ship off and just not worry about it. They have to be really strategic about what trades they make because they don't want to trade away their whole team here. I mean, Brian De La Cruz has definitely been the best Miami Marlin this year so far, and he's a free agent after 2028. You have 4 seasons of this guy. Are you really gonna let him walk away right now because your team is off to a cold start this year? Trading away Arraez is one thing, I guess. I actually haven't looked at his contract here. Let me pull that up. But I mean, anyone else that isn't a free agent after 2025 or even 2026, you can kind of get away with guys like that. Christian Betancourt, Avisel Garcia, they have a club option for $12 million after that year. That's really nothing. Sandy's a free agent until 2027. Miami has a window here that I think they need to be really cautious about when making their trades. I don't think Jazz should go, if I'm being honest with you, and it would be really ashamed if I was a Miami fan, I'd be really upset. Luis Arraez, he's a free agent after 2026. So, I mean, yeah, it's one thing for the guys to be a free agent after this year, after 2025, even 2026, but Jazz until 2027 should not be traded. Guys like, Brian De La Cruz in 2028 shouldn't go. What does it mean for their starting pitchers right now? Jake Berger was in pre-arb. He's not a free agent until 2029. All their starting pitching, Edward Cabrera, Braxton Garrett, Max Meyer, all in 2029. Yuri Perez in 2030. So, I mean, I don't expect any of those guys to go. I don't expect really, I don't know who else they got, really. The guys that I mentioned would be the only guys, Josh Bell, Tim Anderson, and Tanner Scott. And like I said, all of which haven't been doing that good this year. So, I mean, we got to talk about it a little bit here as they go. Tanner Scott, he's a 1-4 record, a 2.77 ERA. Hasn't been the same of his since last year. You go through the list of starting pitchers. Jesus Luzardo, that's an interesting one, but he's been awful too. In 5 starts, a 6.58 ERA. There really is. It's hard to find good things about this Miami team. We know that the talent is there. We know that there are guys who have it. They just haven't been able to put it together this month, really, this year so far. And because all of them are struggling at every aspect, it's made for a very ugly-looking baseball team. We know more trades are going to happen. We just don't know who and when. So it's definitely something to keep an eye out for as the season continues, as we get through the month of May into the month of June, and eventually the All-Star break and the trade deadline in July. All right, now our hot and colds for the week here. Shohei Ohtani is the hottest at 11 and 21. 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, 6 runs, and a 1.535 OPS. Behind him, JJ Bleday from your Oakland Athletics, 6 for 17, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, 2 doubles, 4 runs, 6 walks, a 1.522 OPS. Jurickson Profar, Mr. Irrelevant, Padres, 12 for 23, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, 5 runs, a 1.368 OPS. Riley Green from your Tigers, 9 for 23, 3 home runs, 4 RBIs, 4 runs, a 1.332 OPS. And then how about Michael Massey from your Royals, 9 for 24, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs, 4 runs, a 1.108 OPS. On the flip side of things, the cold side of the pillow, Michael Harris from your Braves, 1 for 21 with 4 Ks. Pete Alonso, 1 for 26 with 8 Ks. Brenton Doyle, 2 for 23 with 8 Ks. Anthony Volpe from your Yankees, 3 for 25, 9 Ks. And then George Springer, 4 for 27 with 10 Ks. Guys need to start turning it around quickly. Those are your hot and colds. Our injury updates. I don't know why I said history. That's a weird way of marking something up here. Starting things off here, we got Trey Turner. He's on the IL from your Phillies. He has a left hamstring strain. He's expected to miss at least 6 weeks. They said anything before 6 weeks is considered a win. Joe Musgrove's on the IL for the Padres with some elbow inflammation. Nathan Eovaldi heads to the IL from your Rangers with a strained groin. Evan Phillips from your Dodgers bullpen, a strained hamstring. Byron Buxton has some knee inflammation. He heads to the IL for the Twins. What else is new there? And then Stephen Kwan, he's been off to a hot start with the Guardians. He's on the IL with a hamstring injury. The special thing about that one, or at least, the positive side of that, is that because of that, the Guardians are making a call-up. They're calling up top prospect Kyle Manzardo, first baseman, to be with the team going forward now, especially while Kwan is injured. Hopefully Manzardo plays well. Hopefully, he's a guy that I know and a guy I like in terms of prospects and young players, so hopefully he does well there. So congrats, Kyle Manzardo. Make the most out of your opportunity here because they don't come far and few in between. Outstanding performances. I'm going to definitely need to start shrinking down this list. Cal Quantrill with your Rockies, 7.2 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 9 Ks. Hayden Wazinski from your Cubs, 6 1/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 8 Ks. Jamison Tyone, 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 7 Ks. Sonny Gray, 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 6 Ks. Dylan Cease, 6 2/3, 3 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, 8 Ks. Jared Jones, 7 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, no walks, 10 Ks. Cole Irvin, 6 1/3 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 4 Ks. John Means, 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 8 Ks. Dean Creamer, 6 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, 1 walk, 6 Ks. Kevin Gausman, 5 1/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 8 Ks. J.P. Sears, 6 1/3 innings pitched, 4 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 6 Ks. Paul Blackburn, 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 3 Ks. Pablo Lopez, 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 8 Ks. Christian Scott, his major league debut, 6 2/3, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 6 Ks. Zach Little, 6 innings pitched, 6 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, 7 Ks. Logan Gilbert, 8 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, 4 walks, 6 Ks. Michael King, 6 innings pitched, 6 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 3 Ks. And lastly, Tyler Glasnow, 7 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, and 10 Ks. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Definitely need to work on that. Standings check. AL East, Baltimore still leads it 23-11, a game up on the Yankees, who are 23-13, 2 losses there. Baltimore on a 4-game winning streak. Yankees on a 3-game winning streak. Rays on a 3-game winning streak. They're 17-8, 6.5, and 2 games back of Boston, who's in third. Blue Jays are now in last, 3 games under 500. They're 7.5 back and 3-7, and their last 10. Ugh, yucky. AL Central, the Guardians at 22-12 have held off the Twins. They've been playing mediocre baseball, though. They're 5-5 in their last 10. The Twins, obviously, finishing a 12-game winning streak. They're 9-1 in their last 10, 19-14. They've shot from 4th all the way up. They've passed the Royals, who are sitting at 20-15. The Tigers at 18-16. White Sox still looking for double-digit wins at 8-26. Your AL West, your Mariners and Rangers are separated by half a game. Mariners at 19-15, Rangers at 19-16, both winning 2 straight. They've been 7-3 and 6-4 in their last 10, but of course Oakland's been better at 8-2 in their last 10. 2.5 back of first. They're 17-18. They were at 500 yesterday. They're down 500 today. But a win against Texas will put them back to 500 and potentially almost past the Rangers. Astros are still fourth. They're 5-5 in their last 10. They're 12-22, the same record as the Angels, who are 12-22 for last in the West. There, NL East, the Braves, after getting swept by the Dodgers, no longer in first. It's your Phillies, who are on a 5-game winning streak. They're 9-1 in their last 10. They're 24-11, the best team in baseball right now. Braves at 20-12. Nats are sitting at a pretty 500 at 17-17. Your Mets 16-18 after getting swept by the Rays. They're 3-7 in the last 10. Marlins down in the dumps, 14.5 back. We've mentioned that before. NL Central, after the Cubs got a game back, they are technically tied for this division. Brewers at 20-13. Cubs at 21-14. So the Cubs with 2 extra games, won 1 and lost 1. So because of 2 less games, that's why the Brewers are pure first place. But they're both 5-5 in the last 10. Brewers losing the last 2, Cubs winning the last 2. It's because they played each other. The Reds have been struggling. They're 2-8 in their last 10. They've lost 5 straight. They're in a bit of a bender right now. 4.5 back for first. They need to turn it on. Pirates, they've fallen a little bit too far for what I think they wanted to. They're 16-19, still half a game back on the Cardinals, who are at 15-19 and still last in the NL Central like last year. Weird seeing that back-to-back years. Dodgers are in second overall in baseball. They're 23-13. They're 8-2 in their last 10 on a 4-game winning streak. They've looked great. Padres, after all of the, it's still weird to say that the Padres and the rest of this NL West are still under 500. 18-19 are the Padres, 5.5 back. Arizona 15-20. Giants 15-20. What are those 2 teams doing? Let's go, guys. Time to wake up. Season's been on the way. And Rockies, like the White Sox, still looking for double-digit wins at 8-26. That is your standings check. Now on to our upcoming series. I don't know what I'm doing here. Upcoming series. Of course, today we have the Giants and Phillies finishing their 4-game set. Can the Phillies get the 4-game sweep over the Giants? Astros at Yankees. Always a fun matchup there. We'll wait to see Jose Altuve get booed. White Sox at Rays. Tigers at Guardians. Brewers at Royals. Mariners at Twins. Rangers at A, circle that series. Oilers at Nationals. Red Sox at Braves. Blue Jays at Phillies. Mets at Cardinals. Angels at Pirates. Padres at Cubs. D-backs at Reds. Giants at Rockies. And of course, the Marlins are facing your Dodgers. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for us here today. It is definitely a longer one, to say the very least, but the sports are hot right now. Whether you're watching baseball, whether you're caring about the postseason, we're into round 2 for basketball and NHL. Hopefully your favorite teams have moved on. Lando Norris gets his first win yesterday. Just a great day overall. And yeah, the sports are hot right now, whether it be baseball, whether it be whatever you watch, whatever you do in life. I hope you are enjoying it if you've happened to stumble your way into this video and aren't a sports fan. But I appreciate you all. Excuse me. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining me on this longer than usual episode. And I will see you on Friday.